Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a vinyl update, where I'm basically going to talk about the latest records to make it into my collection over here. However, in this vinyl update, we'll be talking about vinyl and some things that are not very much vinyl, but still, I do want to talk about them and mention them in this video, so let's get started. First off, got a vinyl copy, an exclusive pressing, a limited pressing of the new Perfume Genius record, Too Bright. Just opened up the plastic over here, didn't slip it out of the plastic. This printing or pressing of the record actually came from the people at Vinyl Me Please, who are sponsoring this video. I reviewed this LP earlier this year. As you may already know, it turned up on my favorite albums of 2014 list. If you are looking for some art pop, some singer-songwriter music that is incredibly dreary, heartbroken, and piano-led, then look up this album. Really nice inner sleeve here with the lyrics printed very tiny on there, and I believe this is this pressing is an exclusive color. It's kind of like a very milky, beigey white on there, sort of an off-white and eggshell shade, and I believe this came with a little piece of 12-inch, like a little 12 by 12 extra piece of art with just the Vinyl Me pressing. It's sort of a vinyl of the month club, and with every month, you get a record of their choosing, and it usually comes with a 12 by 12 piece of art, and the pressing is usually special in some way, either that it's limited or there's a crazy label or a crazy color or something. But Matador Records and Vinyl Me Please got together for this limited pressing of this Perfume Genius record. So there you go. That's first. Coming up after that, pop album of the year, favorite pop album of the year, Ariel Pink, Pom Pom, Gatefold. Also, there's all sorts of crazy, funny drawings of like each, of the track titles as well as the lyrics sort of scrawled out across this little gatefold over here. Simple, straightforward black sleeves on the records themselves, black records, red labeling, and the vinyl itself sounds nice. I was over a friend of mine's the other night and played a few cuts off of this, and I've played at least half the record myself on my table, and it sounds good. It sounds good. Again, one of my top 10 favorite albums of 2014, and all right. Again, pop album of the year right there, in my opinion. This next one comes with a letter. Hello, Senor Phantasmo. You are receiving a vinyl copy of the experimental hip-hop group Dälek album from Filthy Tongue of Gods and Griots. I hope you enjoy and also check out their other works as well. Love your videos. I apologize about the crease in one corner. It's how the record originally came. Best regards, Kenny S. Thank you, Kenny, for sending me this vinyl copy of this Dälek record. I've been giving it a listen. If you profess to be a hardcore abstract hip-hop fan, you're going to want to give this thing a listen. Not that I was that impressed with MC Dälek's rapping and lyricism. I was much more impressed with the production on this record. That's really where I felt my ears gravitating for the majority of this LP. Really grimy experimental beats all over this album, and I believe one of the only hip-hop groups or artists to sign to Ipecac Records, who have, I believe, hosted projects for Mike Patton. Melvins have been on there. A lot of experimental music on Ipecac Records. So if you're not familiar with that label and you are into experimental rock and pop and just generally strange music, look the label up. But again, if you profess to be a big abstract and industrial hip-hop fan, look this album up, as well as the album they came out with after this one, not the collaborative record with Faust, though I do believe these guys are one of the only hip-hop outfits who can, or duos, who can, sort of profess to, or brag, have bragging rights to have a collaborative record with one of the greatest bands in German experimental rock. All right. Little death metal. Little death metal on this one. I believe this is a reissue. It's on Relapse Records. Death, Leprosy, one of the most brutal, earliest death metal records out there. Fantastic record. I haven't listened to this album as much as I have Death's other works, which is why I picked it up. And it was just as heavy and as gruesome as I would anticipate. It was just really solid, heavy. Oh, there's a download card in here. Yeah, there you go. Nice. And it is a reissue. But the reissue itself is really nice. The logo is nice and big and sort of seems to have like a bit of a sheen on it. It's not like there's a foil print on here or anything, but there's something about, you know, sort of the gold parts on the cover itself that sort of really pop. And that's also the case for the labeling on the record itself. It's sort of brown and gold and, you know, sort of burnt orange over here and the blue and silver on the other side over here. And again, it's a very heavy record, blazing solos. The vocals are so guttural, they're so brutal. It's just a heavy, hard-hitting, fucking badass death metal record. And if you're getting into the genre, I've said this numerous times before, if you're getting into death metal, you can't really go bad with Death. You can't really go wrong with Death. You can't really go wrong with like Morbid Angel's first album either, but you can't really go wrong with Death. And after listening to this LP, I have to recommend this album too. All right, let's keep going. All right, this one, record not in here because it's on the table right now, but I just got this record for Christmas from my significant other, Miles Davis. On the corner, jazz music right here, but this album is in the 70s, is when it came out. It's in the midst of Miles Davis's avant-garde, jazz rock, jazz fusion era. So there are rock influences on this LP. There are jazz. There are funk influences on this LP, especially funk. This album is incredibly funky. I can't say the songwriting, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing as it has been on previous Miles records, but the jams are certainly good, and it's nice to hear Miles sort of embrace the funk sound so wholeheartedly. It really seems like he didn't hold anything back on this album and really just wanted to emulate that sound and, you know, just really bring some good solos to it and just some good improvs and some great kinetic energy between him and the guest musicians on this record. But yeah, you know, another gatefold. I love a good gatefold. Just some good performances on here. Really fiery playing. So if you're looking for some jazz funk on the corner, can't go wrong. All right, moving on. Crass's, which record is this? This is Stations of the Crass. This is their second full-length album, coming after Feeding the 5,000. Been giving this one a listen, though it does have some of my favorite Crass songs on this record. And keep in mind, this is like some really gruff, noisy, occasionally incoherent anarcho-punk from the UK in the 70s. Though this record does have some of my favorite Crass songs on it, like Walls and I ain't think it's just a trick. Oh yeah, when I got it, oh yeah, sorry. I didn't find this album to be as fantastic as their debut in terms of, you know, just like one awesome song subject hitting you after another. This record, to me, a lot of the songs just kind of bled together. It just felt a little samey, I suppose. And it's their next album, Penis Envy, where it seems like they really seem to break out and experiment with, you know, a different vocalist and different song topics and a different point of view altogether on that album. And then there's Christ, the album, where they really seem to experiment pretty boldly. So this album to me is it's okay, but I'm a fan of Crass, so I don't really mind owning it. And like I said earlier, it does have some of my favorite Crass songs on it. And one thing I really like about these Crass reissues of these records is, let me see. Oh, it seems like we got a double LP over here. Yeah, we got a double LP over here. Okay. I actually need to double check and see if, because this is a relatively short album. I don't believe this album has so much on it that it warrants 2 LPs. I need to actually see if there's anything like special or crazy on the second LP, because there may in fact may be. Because that has been the case with a few other Crass reissues, I believe. But one thing I do love about these reissues is just the inserts they pair them with are just so epic and just grim, and just tons of lyrics printed out, scrawls, interesting picture collages. This, I believe, is some original art that came with the record back in the day. But it was sort of like some of these might have ended up on the cover. Yeah, this is like some dark, heavy shit. But yeah, if you're looking to get into some pretty gruesome, grim, and very nasty, unforgiving punk music, I recommend Crass. Feeding in the 5000, Penis Envy, and who's to say you couldn't like this album either? So there you go. Crass, Stations of the Crass. Let's pop this back in there on camera, just cuz. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. We're doing it. We're gonna succeed. We done did it. I think I'll fix that later. All right, got this for Christmas too. Outkast, ATaliens. Whoa, ATaliens. Excuse me. This is their sophomore full-length LP, Southern hip-hop duo, Big Boy, Andre 3000. This is some really smooth, funky stuff. This is their second full-length album, like I might have said earlier. Doesn't feel quite as developed as Aquemini that would come out not too long after this album, but there's some great MCing on here, some thoughtful lyrics, and some really airy, ethereal, just for its time, I would say sort of otherworldly and kind of mystical instrumentals. Again, smooth, funky, smoky. I would also describe this album as. It's very apparent and clear how groups like this have influenced artists like Big Crit and even people like Kendrick Lamar too. So yeah, there's some fantastic tracks on this thing. So let's move on. Great hip hop album. We're going to go into Tim Hecker over here, Harmony and Ultraviolet. Yep, there we go. I am essentially one step closer to completing the whole Tim Hecker discography in my collection between a handful of CDs and LPs. I have only maybe a few more records to go before I own every single Tim Hecker record. So yeah, if you're looking for some very interesting, textured and gorgeous ambient music with a lot of personality, something that can sort of hang in the background and really create a strong mood, but is also pretty is also pretty appropriate for foreground listening as well. Give a listen to Harmony and Ultraviolet. Definitely one of the better records he put out before he seemed to really transcend the ambient genre with records like Rave Death. And as you may know, I really love his latest full-length LP, Virgins, but here's another great one from Tim Hecker. Some more awesome ambient music over here. Harmony and Ultraviolet again. And I guess I just got to pull this out. Another gatefold over here, though, not the most amazing gatefold I've ever laid my eyes upon. But yeah, we get a little bit of some liner notes over here. Yep. And as far as the sleeves go, nothing too amazing. Very minimal and packaging here with a nice color palette. I would say the packaging itself lends itself to how moody the music is. So there we go, Tim Hecker. And finally, as far as the vinyls in this thing go, what? I got my copy of this. I got a copy. What? Yeah, I have a copy of Death Grip's Government Plates. Don't get angry. Don't get pissed off at me. Don't be like, 6 out of 10, Anthony, you gave it a 6 out of 10. Listen, like I said in my review, some of the tracks on this record, especially on the first half, some of Death Grip's best stuff. But in the latter half of the record, don't really care for a lot of the tracks quite as much. But I gots to have it. You know, I have all the records so far, and you know, I'm invested in the progression of the group, and that's all I got to say. And yeah, so as some of you may already know, but I will mention it here again, as according to the liner notes here, which came bent, somebody threw it in here and just bent the liner notes inside of the record over here. According to the liner notes over here, Mr. Robert Pattinson of Twilight fame played the guitar on the track Birds, which is a reason for living, in my opinion. And then we have, you know, some other liner notes here, and we have a spaceship in the middle here casting down a light that seems to expose the face of a fetus, and a cloud in a wine glass, which makes absolute sense. And then the record itself, played it, sounds good, doesn't sound too bad. I love how they were actually able to fit the entirety of the title. You might think he loves you for your money, but so on and so forth. Death Grip's longest song title yet. And the most important thing, as you may already know, in the entire vinyl package here of this record is an honest-to-God metal license plate that says CA exempt death, which a lot of people were theorizing that this little serial number over here, 14H1224, was giving some kind of clue as to when Jenny Death, the second half of Death Grip's yet-to-be-completed double album, was going to come out, though that actually didn't end up happening. And it seems that now the album is going to be completed somewhere around Fashion Week, because that was the title of this new instrumental album from Death Grips that dropped out of nowhere. All right, so you know, which a lot of people have been asking me to review, and I will be listening to it. I will be listening to it. I will be putting ears on it. And yeah, that is it for the vinyl portion of this section of the video, and now we're going to get into a few more things before we head out. First, another fan sent me some more music, though it is on CD. Let me give him a name check right here. He even wrote me a note. Nico, Mr. Nico over here, he wrote this to me on graph paper, which I like. It's my favorite kind of paper to read words off of. I'm Nico, a fan. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday and show you my gratitude by giving you this record, The Holy Bible. It's a 1994 classic. I'm not sure if you know it, since you haven't talked about it before, as far as I remember, so on and so forth. Nico, thank you very much for passing me this CD copy of the Manic Street Preachers' The Holy Bible. I will be giving this a listen, acclimating myself with this record, and seeing what all the hubbub is about. If anybody down there in the comments has some strong opinions on this record, leave them in the comments, and you know, maybe facilitate some kind of discussion over this record, and you know, sort of enlighten me and let me know what I'm about to get into. Okay, and let me see a few more things. This was passed to me by my good buddies over at Everything is Terrible. Everything is Terrible is one of my favorite websites on the internet right now, and they've been so for a while. You guys might have seen me wearing this old school Everything is Terrible t-shirt a while back in some of the older videos. Like, I think it was one of the first t-shirts they ever put out. And essentially what they do is they find insane videos on VHS. They may be how-to videos or internet computer videos or like Christian instructional videos or something like that, and you know, they make weird mashups and sometimes just simply show the video for the insanity and you know, dated nostalgic hilarity that it is and displays. And every once in a while they come out with a DVD, and this one right here is one of my favorites of theirs so far, though I'm not too crazy about the flip side. It's sort of like a bad stand-up comedy compilation. I'm really happy I live in a world where most of the people in this compilation are no longer funny. But on the A side of this DVD over here, we have a mashup, a continuous video mashup of some of the worst moments in hip-hop history in the 80s and 90s. I think with hindsight, we readily recognize some of the best moments of hip-hop music during the golden age and during the 90s for what they are, and, you know, and for how amazing they are. But this DVD essentially exposes the dark side of that, the commercialism, the Christian hip-hop videos, the, you know, hip-hop PSAs, like, books, check them out, books, check 'em out, you know, stuff like that. And it's just all strung together in this continuous, you know, just beat, I guess. So it's like this one long, nonstop, terrible hip-hop song that is constantly trying to either get you to be aware of some kind of safety issue or sell you something, or you know, just generally sounding very dorky and horrible. So yeah, everything is terrible, getting a bad rap. So you know, if you want a kind of hilarious piece of hip-hop history just pulled together into a tapestry of cringe, look into this DVD. I'm sure there's somewhere online I can throw in the description box where you can see a trailer for this thing. But yeah, you know, I was watching this with my significant other, and we got a fucking kick out of it. But I own every single DVD they put out before this, so this type of humor really is in my my wheelhouse. But you know, check out Everything Is Terrible for yourself. If it's funny to you, and you are a big hip-hop fan, I think you're going to enjoy that DVD. And then finally, as you guys know, I like weird t-shirts, and I like to pick up, you know, just like weird prints of t-shirts. So this one is a print made by a past friend of mine, Daniel Brissett, who had done plenty of art for the show. But this next one comes from a YouTube channel that I believe is currently down due to hosting a lot of content that I think people found just generally offensive. I don't think a lot of people really quite understand and wince very quickly at their sense of humor. Though I don't think they're hilarious all the time. I do like dark humor. I do like offensive humor, and you know, with the understanding that, you know, it's you're just there to kind of shock and just be in bad taste. The fact that it is in bad taste is part of what is so funny about, you know, that type of humor, in my opinion. And one of the dudes sent me this shirt, which is maybe one of the ugliest shirts I've ever seen in my life. $1 Million Extreme is the name of the YouTube channel, aka MDE. And this shirt, it's like all like glitter print. It's like glitter. And everything is on this shirt. There's like a bomb-looking thing or something. I can't quite figure that out. It's just like a weird face with just like teeth missing. You don't even know. There's also not make sound or something. A fist that says cool on the knuckles. There's a weird face over here. There's a weird face. Like with a mullet or something. I think about bad stuff a lot. I don't like myself. I'm a mess. Please help me. I think making this shirt is kind of a cry for help, and I think wearing this shirt is a cry for help as well. Like, this is a weird dog with a long tongue or something, and the tongue comes out and makes a thumbs up. I don't know if you could even see that. I don't even know if you could see that. I can barely make it out myself, and I'm looking at the shirt. There's a dog paw right there. So yeah, this is a really unique piece. This is like a piece of art right here on a shirt. And the inside's kind of sticky. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might just throw that in a frame at some point. And yeah, that's it. I will leave a link down there in the description box to where you can look at their Facebook, where I believe they're posting and updating information about how you may be able to help them get their channel back and convince YouTube to, I guess, sort of reinstate it. I'm not fully sort of aware or understanding as to why it all came down and why YouTube decided to take it down. But I know, at least from what I had seen when the channel was up, I thought it was funny, and you know, I thought it had its moments. So you know, I'm always sort of disappointed in when stuff gets taken down just because some people find it offensive, which a lot of the time, what makes for offensive content is pretty subjective. And I personally believe that, you know, if something offends you, then go look at or watch something else. I mean, there are plenty of things that offend me, and when I don't want to deal with them, and when I don't want to see them, I don't watch it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you know, other people shouldn't watch it. It just means that it's not for me, and I'm not into it, so I'm going to avoid it, because there are plenty of other things to listen to, watch, or pay attention to. So yeah. Cool? Cool. Anthony Fantano, vinyl update forever.